West, good morning. 6 o'clock right now on this Thursday morning. It is the most obvious symbol of Olympic spirit in Vancouver, and for a few hours at least, it was finally put on display. Greg Harper is live in Jackpool Plaza this morning with more on what happened last night. Greg.
Good morning, Kyle. Yeah, a very familiar sight behind me, the Olympic Cauldron, which is lit up in red. This has been the case for a while now, and that continues here this morning. What we haven't seen in a while are flames, and there's been a lot of criticism towards the provincial government for not lighting the cauldron during the Winter Olympics, especially considering the cauldrons are burning in Calgary and in Montreal. That changed last night at 8 o'clock. The flames lit up the sky for 2 hours, and that quickly brought a lot of people to the cauldron. And many started to sing our national anthem. Some took the opportunity to snap some photos as well. The event marked the 4th anniversary of the opening ceremony here in Vancouver. The cauldron is operated by Pavco, which is a Crown corporation, and the corporation responded to the public complaints it wasn't lit sooner, accepting private donations to cover the costs of last night.
It's a demonstration of Canadian pride, and you know, the citizens of Vancouver got engaged in our games, and their pride is all there, and they just wanted to see the torch lit and get engaged and celebrate.
So the cauldron was lit for 2 hours last night. What happens now? Well, Pavco is hoping to light the cauldron every evening that Canada wins a gold medal and light it during the last day of the Winter Olympics in Sochi. The reported cost to light the cauldron, around $1,500 every hour. Kyle?
Greg Harper live in downtown Vancouver this morning. Greg, thanks for that. Whistler RCMP are investigating a reckless stunt that has gone viral.
2, 1.
The video was taken last week and shows a man base jumping from the peak-to-peak gondola. He allegedly forced open the doors, causing $10,000 in damage. A woman is also seen in the video, but police don't think she knew the jumper. The stunt was a tribute to Shane McConkey, who parachuted from the gondola when it opened, but that was approved by Whistler Blackcomb. McConkey later died in another jump. Vancouver police are looking for the person behind another dangerous incident. This one happened downtown earlier this month at Hornby and Dunsmuir Streets. A red Chevy Camaro hopped the curb, narrowly missing several past pedestrians. The VPD has released surveillance footage, and in the hope someone knows the driver. A man who killed his 3 children in Merritt has been denied some temporary freedom. The BC Review Board has rejected Alan Schoenborn's application for escorted day passes. Schoenborn has been living at a psychiatric hospital in Port Coquitlam. His request was opposed by his ex-wife, Crown Counsel, and the hospital. Schoenborn was found not criminally responsible for murdering his children in Merritt in 2008 because of mental illness. A crowd packed New Westminster City Hall last night for a discussion on what should be done about critical levels of truck traffic in the area. What the city would like to do is close off parts of Royal and 8th Avenue to trucks, but that can't happen without the thumbs up from TransLink's board, which is ultimately responsible for the regional road network. The city has proposed a bypass route that includes several roadways like Front Street, Brunette, and 10th Avenue. The application goes to TransLink in March.
In a sense, what you're doing is you're just moving the problem from one street to another. And by forcing trucks to make circuitous routes, what you're ending up doing is you're ending up extending truck movement, which means increased emissions and increased exposure to risk.
Residents of New Westminster are tired of the truck traffic, and they would like to make changes to the truck routes. And being a resident of New Westminster for 40 years and also a truck driver, I'm here to voice my concerns about the changes. And at the same time, I do feel for the residents as well for increasing traffic.
BC's Liberal government has made it very clear it disagrees with the Supreme Court decision finding it had conspired to provoke job action in BC schools. But the NDP has now provided documents from the courts which suggest the government did have a plan to force a strike. Teachers remained in class with their students while the government and the teachers' union were embroiled in contract negotiations. The court documents suggest the province's chief negotiator knew the government wanted a full strike and was pushing to make that happen. The NDP plans to release more documents it obtained from the court.
The transcript shows that the government was deliberately trying to provoke a strike. that contrary to the Premier's repeated public statements, she was clearly not telling the truth. The government was not telling the truth. They were trying to provoke a strike, and Mr. Strazik acknowledges that.
Well, I think it's very clear that in a democracy, parties have the right to take these kinds of things to a higher court of appeal. That is what we're doing. And why we are there is because we believe we have solid legal grounds to appeal. That's why we filed the appeal, and we're going to stand by that.
Thank you.
A Kamloops mother dying of cancer is trying to raise enough money for a trip to Disneyland with her 2 young daughters. 37-year-old Kendra Weiberg was diagnosed with a rare and incurable form of abdominal cancer. She wants to take her 3- and 5-year-old girls on a dream vacation before she dies. Weiberg's friends are collecting donations in her hometown of Revelstoke and online to make that dream a reality. As of this morning, nearly $23,000 have been raised. That is well above the goal of $19,000. Weiberg began chemotherapy this week and hopes she can take her daughters on the trip in the next 2 months.
From a selfish perspective, of course, it makes me sad because my youngest Sierra in all likelihood won't even remember me. But on the same token, I feel better about that than my oldest girl, Madison. She said, well, will we grow a new mummy? And I said, well, I don't know if you can grow a new mummy. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a new mummy. And then she said, well, I want her to be just like you.
If you'd like to donate more to the Weiberg family, you can search for Kendra's Dream Trip on GoFundMe.com.